Hello, very good morning. Welcome to JS Testing Academy. Welcome to the next part of video in the Amazon for Playwright Automation series. So, in the first video, we saw about like the introduction of the framework, and we saw about the basic setting of framework, and we created the structure of the framework. Okay. So, in the last video, we saw about how to add some small configurations file in the cucumber.js, and we added a docker file and we added jenkins file, and we saw about the basic setting of the configurations in our framework. Okay, so in this video we are going to add more code into our framework. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so as I told you, we are going to use automate the Amazon website, and we are going to use BDD cucumber framework. So BDD is behavioral driven development, where we write simple English test cases that is converted to automation scripts. Okay, and we are also going to add page object model design pattern. Page object model, we use it for object repository purpose, and for each page one class, and we use right for every page. For example, search page, book page, or add to a cart page. Like that, there will be different pages where for each page we write one class. Okay, now let's write one let's add hooks into our code. Hooks, normally it is used under cucumber. Okay, so hooks we add for before and after annotations, we add it in our hooks. Okay, so we add cucumber hooks in our framework. Okay, so now let me write some small snippet here. So I'll add constant. Okay, and I'll add both the before and after annotation here. So let me add and before and after. Then I will write it requires Playwright plugins here. So I will add require. Okay, so we should first add cucumber here. Okay, then I'll add single quotes add cucumber. So we have to add this one. Okay, so then I'll give a semicolon here. First, we need to add the what annotations we are going to use, that is before and after. Okay, then I'll add constant. Then I'm going to initiate what are the browsers I'm going to automate. Okay, so let's try with Chromium browser, and let's try with Firefox. Okay, and we also will plan for WebKit also. Okay, so I'm going to add WebKit in my testing. So I've added three browsers. One is Chromium, next one is Firefox, and also the WebKit. I've added all three browsers. Okay, then it requires we need to add Playwright. Okay, so I'll give require. Okay, so and I will give in single quotes. Okay, Playwright. Okay, so I'll just give Playwright here. Okay, so now I've added two constants. One is the annotation, next one is the different browsers I've added. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use both the before annotation before. I'm going to use async function here. Async is used for asynchronous function. Okay, so by default async will call the await is used to await for each action to take. Okay, so it waits for the defaultly it waits for each action, and then it performs the action, then it moves to the next step. So I'm for that purpose I'm going to use async here. Okay, I'm going to add async function. So I'm going to add it as a function. Then I'm going to write keep it in a block. Okay, then I'm going to use initiate the browser type. What type I'm going to use? Okay, constant, and browser type. Okay, So browser type equal to, so I'm going to get from the environment. Okay, so I'm just giving process dot, hope you installed right cross dot environment in our early video. Okay, so I'm going to get from the right, I'm going to test with different environments here. So let me give browser. I'm going to add right. First, I'm going to give with the Chromium browser. Okay, so I'm going to test with the Chromium browser. Chromium. Okay, so now I will initialize a browser type now, and I'm going to, okay, I've initialized a browser type now. Then I'm going to initialize the browser also. Okay, browser lib. Let me copy this one. Okay, so I'll give browser library. Okay, so I'm going to give Chromium, Firefox, and WebKit. Okay, Chromium. I'm going to initialize the browser Chromium, Firefox, and WebKit. Okay, so I'm using all these three browsers. Okay, and I'm storing it in a reference called as browser lib. Okay, now I'm going for the next line. I'm going to write use this dot browser. Okay, now equal to, I'm making it to wait, await, await. Okay, now I'm going to add browser lib. Okay, now I'm going to use the browser type. Okay, so under the browser type, right, you call the browser and use this. Okay, so I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to launch. I'm going to launch headless mode. Okay, so I'm going to use the browser type, that is Chromium, under the browser lib, and I'm going to launch the browser in the headless mode. So as we all know, in Playwright we can run both in headful state and also in headless state. Okay, so now currently I'm going to use it as an headless state, then that is true. Okay, so I'm going to run it in foreground mode, not in background mode. Okay, so now I give a semicolon here. So browser type await launch, and launch it in a headless mode. Okay, so now I'm going to also create a new context which we are learned right in our early classes. Okay, so I'm going to create a new context here. So I'll just, instead of browser, I'll give context. So create a context means it will opens a new right separate session in our browser. Like if I'm using a Chromium browser, it's going to create a new session there. Okay, so I'm going to give a wait this dot browser. Okay, equal to new context. New context, we use it for right creating a new session, empty session in our browser whichever we are going to launch. Okay, so I'm going to give new context here. Okay, so we created a browser, and we created a context, and we also need to create a page also, blank empty page to launch the URL. Okay, so I'll give this start page equal to await this dot context, and I'm going to create a new blank page with the help of a new page method. Okay, so I've added a browser, I've added a context, and I've created new page. So this before right annotation, which is having an async function, it will call right before every scenario which we are having in our framework. So before the scenario, it's used to launch a create, go to the environment, see, read it, and understand which browser you want to launch it, and then it will go and launch a browser with headless mode and create a new context, and it's going to create a new page. Okay, for every scenario, this before write annotation in hooks, it will launch. Okay, now we have added the before. Now we need to add the after also. Okay, so before will run of every scenario, and after will run at the end of the scenario. Okay, so async function. Okay, now I'll give, so we added your launch a browser. Now we need to close the browser, right? So I'll give await, so await we is used to right wait for some time before the operation to complete. Okay, this dot page dot close. First we are closing the page. Now after that we need to close the context and close the browser. Okay, so we are right first, right, we are closing a page, then we are closing a context. Now we need to close the browser also. So I'm just adding browser dot close. Okay, so we added two annotations, one is before and after. So before runs at before the every each scenario, and after runs at the end of the each scenario. So this is how we can add hooks right in our framework. Okay, hope this video is useful for you. Thanks for watching. Continue to follow the series. Slowly we'll be adding future files, step definitions, and we are going to add page class, and we are going to run as a full flow. Okay, so hope it's useful for you. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Meet you soon in the next part of video. Bye.